Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Well guys, today we will discuss that how Einstein brain was different from others and what cells were involved to make him a super genius. Nervous system cells, no doubt, they are of great importance, but today we will see some additional points about them. So, guys, as we all know about Albert Einstein, that he was one of the most famous mathematician and physicists of the 20th century, and many people consider him a genius because of his incredible intelligence. And several researchers over the year have wondered whether there was something different about Einstein's brain. Well, guys, when Einstein died in 1955, Thomas Harvey, who was a pathologist and he was performing Einstein's autopsy, he quickly removed the brain and preserved it in his laboratory at Princeton. As a result, several researchers gained the opportunity to examine the structure of Einstein's brain in some detail. Well, in 1980s, Marine Diamond, one such researcher, became so interested in examining the area of Einstein's brain where complex brain functions occur. So Diamond began her hunt for Einstein's brain. She soon discovered that Thomas Harvey had moved to Missouri and he had taken the brain with him. She tracked down the Harvey and asked him if he would provide her with a small sample that she could examine under her microscope. Finally, 3 years later, Marine Diamond finally received a package with 4 sugar cube sized samples of Einstein's brain. She and her colleagues cut the brain samples into very thin slices and examined them under their microscope. When she did this, what she found? Diamond discovered that certain regions of Einstein's brain contain almost twice the number of glia, the non-neuronal supporting brain cells, compared to the number found in the average adult human male. In contrast, the number of neurons in Einstein's brain was normal. Interestingly, the large increase in the number of glia was found in the association cortex, a region where complex brain functions such as attention, analysis, and planning occur, although there was only one such brain to examine. So, well, guys, before going further toward Einstein brain, we will have a short look on glial cells, and after that, we will see some more differences in Einstein brain. So, what glial cells are? Glial cells are basically non-neuronal dividing cells found in the both central nervous system and in the peripheral nervous system, as we all know. So, although there are approximately 10 times more glial cells present in the brain than there are neurons, but much less is known about glia. Unlike neurons, however, glia probably don't send out electrochemical signals, but glia are replaced constantly throughout a person's life, and they contributing more in gaining our brain weight. Even at birth, your brain contains nearly all the neurons. Yeah, that's true that some neurons produce every year from stem cells, but and that process is known as neurogenesis. But in this lecture, we are not going to discuss the neurogenesis. We will discuss only about glial cells. So it will ever have in the weight approximately 400 grams at time of birth. However, your brain continues to grow, and by the time you reach adulthood, your brain will weigh between 1,300 and 1,400 grams, approximately between 2.9 and 3.1 pounds, more than 3 times that it weighed when you were born. So, because neurons don't divide, it's initially perplexing to understand how the brain grows. The answer to this mystery is found in the glial cells of the brain. Glial cells continue to divide and grow throughout your life, resulting in an increase in the overall size of your brain. So, it's a bigger mystery is exactly what keeps the glial cells from over multiplying. What happens when they over multiply? When this unlikely event occurs, a cancerous brain tumor is formed. Therefore, many treatments for brain cancer are aimed at preventing glial cells from over multiplying. So, what function they performing? As we all know that they providing structural and nutritional support to neurons, and they also act as cleanup crew when nerve cells die. They also produce chemicals called growth factors that help damaged neurons to heal. When you view a damaged area of the brain under a microscope, you can see glial cell clustered in the places where dead cells were removed. So you can see that glial cells function as phagocytes. So, in addition, they contribute to the formation of blood-brain barrier, which protects the brain from toxins and peripheral neurotransmitters and other substances that would interfere with the brain functioning. They also supply neurons with the nutrients they need to stay alive and active, and they also control the amount of neurotransmitters available at the synapse. Most important point. And some glial cells provide electrical insulation for axons as they create myelin sheet around the axon, and we have discussed these two types of cells in our previous lectures. So some of glial cells surround the cell bodies of the neuron of peripheral nervous system ganglia. Besides providing structural support, they regulate the exchange of materials between neuronal cell bodies and interstitial fluid. What type of glial cells performing what functions, and we will discuss it in our next lecture. So, for a long time, researchers believed that glial cells existed in the brain only to provide structural and nutritional support for neurons. While it's true that glia support neurons, many recent studies over the past 20 years, including Mary and Diamond's study on Einstein's brain, suggest that glia perform more complex and diverse role in the nervous system than was originally thought. So, guys, let's move back to look further differences in Einstein brain. So, after the studies of Diamond, after a few years of her studies, some researchers found that there was missing furor in Einstein's parietal lobe. So they said because of this vacancy, neurons were unable to have better communication in that region. And because of this vacancy, his parietal lobe was 15% enlarged than average. And this area involved in our mathematical thoughts, imagery movements, and this at cause of this missing portion, he was able to think in different dimensions, and his mathematical skills was improved even. But this study was based on photographs of the whole brain made at the time of autopsy in 1955 by Harvey, and it was a direct examination of his brain. So you guys can see the parietal furor. So what recent studies say? So, most recent study by Falk et al. Suggests that the pattern of convergence in Einstein's prefrontal cortex looks different from most of the people. The prefrontal cortex it covered the front part of the frontal lobe, and you can see that is the first portion of our brain, and it's playing a key role in memory, attention, perception, awareness, thought, language, and consciousness as well. So guys, these were scientific studies, and what's my perception, I think this is a bit early to give an proper idea, because everybody have different abilities, characteristics, so there is big difference among people's personalities. So there may be that may be cause of their different brain structure. So I think more geniuses must be studied before giving any final answer. And what's your perception? What you think that these were the possible reasons to make him super genius, or there may be something else? Please let me know by commenting in comment box. By this, today's lecture is over, and if you find it informative, please like and share and subscribe my channel to get more about everything. And thank you. Allah Hafiz.